when you build a strategic narrative, you build an asset that can power your entire business, inside and outside, at the individual level and at the collective level. So you do this as a 360-degree view approach. You do it at the center of your business so that it just radiates everywhere and brings everybody together on the same page, moving forward in the same direction. So since it's a very holistic view of things, a very holistic approach, the question is, where should you start? There are many possibilities. You could start by working on it as an internal exercise to align people within the organization to work more efficiently on the strategy. You could do this exercise for you as a business owner or founder or CEO to be clear with where you want to take this company forward. You could do this outside and use it to as an outside, more communication related or marketing type of exercise. There are many choices. How do you choose? Where should you start? You should start where your strategic narrative is going to be most visible quickly. Why? Because you want to get, as soon as possible, you want to get feedback. You want to try it out. You want to test it out so that you put it in motion, you activate it as fast as possible. So if you need it, if you need to accelerate sales, if your situation is to accelerate sales, maybe you're going to want to implement your strategic narrative in your sales deck. But some companies don't have a sales deck. I work with many companies who that's not their practice. They don't sell with a sales presentation. They have a website. They have simple conversations. They work through referrals sometimes, but they just don't need a sales deck. So where do you go next? What would be some other options? Maybe it's a set of ideas. It's a communication that is more verbal. That's one area where you can implement it. Another area that I see that is becoming more and more common is through video and content creation. Video and content creation is really fast to implement if you do it in an authentic and low pressure way. You could also do that, and post your video on social media, on YouTube, and therefore get a lot of feedback there. So do it where it's the most visible, where you're going to get the most feedback, where the testing cycle is going to be the fastest, because building a strategic narrative is not just building a finished product that you want to build through perfection. It's a process. It takes time. You have to readjust. You have to see how people resonate with it. Does this asset that you built really mobilize people into a new opportunity? Maybe your opportunity is about a change. It's about a change that is happening in your industry. It's about a change happening to your organization, but a change happening to your customers, your clients, whatever the case might be. Since you're communicating for change, that's when you want this narrative to be collectively built together. And so you're going to need to test it out with people who are going to add to it and help you shape it. A strategic narrative is an opportunity to engage into conversations. It's not a once and done piece of communication that you put out there that is perfect and that you keep for a long time. It's got to be dynamic. Some facets of it, some areas to implement it, like your website, for instance, may change less often. But in general, think about where it's going to be most visible so that you have higher chances of feedback, testing, and readjustment.